If you like capitalism, you can give me money in exchange for even more exclusive content. If you like socialism, you can give me money and take credit for keeping me alive. Everybody wins. Support a Dose of Buckley at patreon.com/Dose of Buckley. Welcome to Advice No One Asked For. It's been a while, but you know how it works. I find some questions asked to an advice columnist and answer them myself for your amusement. Alright, and mine too. Let's start with a letter from someone who's worried their boyfriend is a little too introverted? Sure, let's say that. Dear other internet life fixer, I've been dating a boy for 7 months and am head over heels in love. Very early in our relationship, he mentioned he had a fiancée who died unexpectedly after being with him for 4 years. He will not answer any questions about the dead fiancée because he said it would be too painful for me. Huh? He's secretive about everything. He has a number of aliases, won't share his email address, phone numbers, etc., and has no close friends or family. And now there are 4 years of his life about which I can't ask any questions. My friends and family all think I'm gonna wind up in a body bag. But I think his fiancée's death was so painful, he can't talk about it because he doesn't have closure. I've suggested he see a therapist, but he says that's not an option. Should I forget it? Or give the guy more time and see if he'll open up? Signed, how about we call this one Hopeful in Hartford? You know, sometimes you see a question in an advice column and you think, okay, yeah, there's a dilemma. I could see being conflicted about what to do. But this question might as well have read, Dear Fuckstick, I'm drowning. Should I put my head above water to breathe? You'd think that maybe as they wrote all this down, they'd have achieved some clarity or some level of self-awareness. You've been dating for 7 months, and you're not allowed to know his phone number? He doesn't have any friends or family, and he has aliases. Who the fuck has aliases? Well, I'll tell you who. People hiding from the law. There's a very good possibility that you don't even know his real name. The thing I'm most confused by, what are you even in love with? Do you share similar interests, probably just accidentally? Like, you like long walks in secluded woods, and he likes living there in a shack? I've heard women like a guy who's a little mysterious. This guy's so mysterious, the government might not even know who he is. He tells you he had a fiancée who died unexpectedly, and that when you suggested he go to therapy, he says that's not an option. Yeah, that might be because there's no doctor-patient confidentiality when someone tells a therapist that they murdered their ex and buried them behind a truck stop in Denver. You know when he said any more questions about his dead fiancée would be too painful for you? He meant physically. Listen to your friends and family, and then say goodbye to them, because now you need an alias, along with a new place to live. Maybe if you could get anything out of him, maybe you could see if you could find out who does his passports and fake IDs. Our next advice seeker has the exact opposite problem. A husband whose life is on display for everyone. Dear Never Buckley, my man has become a public figure in the world of social media. He has strangers kissing his ass all day and women from all over the world propositioning him, which has inflated his ego to the point where I feel he doesn't appreciate what he has, and he's extremely lucky to have snagged a woman like me. I held out for love until I was 34. I wanted the kind of man who saw the best in me, and this was the man. We met last year and married secretly. He became famous, and my fairy tale has now turned into a nightmare. On top of everything, he started an emotional affair with another woman, and I'm heartbroken. I don't know what to do. If I leave him, I risk the possibility of not meeting someone else before it's too late to have children. But I don't want to leave him. I love him. So how do I forgive him when he's starting to despise me because I haven't recovered from his affair? He ignores me and escapes to the alternate universe of Instagram, where he's perfect and loved by one and all. He doesn't accept responsibility for the role he's playing, which is destroying me and us. I don't want to give up on him and the future we collectively imagined, but I don't know where we go from here. How do I compete with his fame in this other world he inhabits? Signed, let's say, E. Cucked in East Lansing. Now, I broke a rule of mine for this one and read the columnist's advice because as I read this, I was like, yeah, I bet this guy's a fucking nobody too. And sure as shit, he was. At least according to the actual columnist, who apparently did a little creeping and found out this person's husband has an Instagram following of like 20,000 people. These people are the fucking worst. Small-time influencers. The internet gave them a name, actually. Micro-influencers. And they all have Napoleon complexes, believing they're way more important than they are. This guy's got 20,000 followers on Instagram, and he thinks he's the fucking biggest swinging dick this side of Hollywood. He thinks he's Chris Hemsworth, but he's Chris Hemsworthless. But there were some red flags that could have alerted you to the fact that he likes the newest exciting thing and that you'd get boring. The big one? You met last year and then married secretly? How long did you know each other before you got married? Months? You knew nothing about him, and he wasn't in it for love, he was in it for the thrill. And if he's got all these women in his DMs wanting to slob on his knob, then if you're bothering him about something else, he can run to there where these women won't ever tell him to take out the garbage or do some boring chore or make him think about the responsibility of children. Which, if you had children, he'd only use them as a prop on Instagram anyway. Oh, honey, we gotta get our son TikTok a cake to smash for his first birthday. Oh, I guarantee that'll get me at least 3,000 likes. No, you stay out of the video. I'm doing a single dad thing. I've been getting so many DMs from girls who say they want my hot dad dick. If they knew I was married, they might unfollow me, and then I'd only have 18,000 followers. He despises you because you haven't forgiven him for talking to other women behind your back? Then what are you worried about having kids before it's too late for? You already have a child. Drop this dipshit. If you think he was lucky to have snagged a woman like you, then use your own ego to find someone else. Maybe this time, make sure no one really gives a shit about who they are so you don't feel like you have to compete. If their Instagram has less than 500 followers, let them slam a baby in you. I'm Buckley, and you're welcome.